Welcome to the Rebel Love Show, where we are a once-a-week broadcast from Manchester, New Hampshire, where we are pro-pot, pro-gun, and pro-coffee. You can find all of our content at rebelloveshow.com. I'm Ron Mathias.
And I am the Rebel Mistress.
And today our special guest in studio is none other than Christopher David of Free Uber and Arcade City.
Thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Oh, thanks for being here. He's quickly becoming a recurring guest. We like it.
Yes, yeah, definitely becoming a recurring guest, not just in on our show, but in this studio. So he's making his rounds on LRN.FM. And we are live on LRN.FM, IPMNation. And if you want to watch us live, go to rebelloveshow.com/live.
And we are taking Skype calls.
Yeah, we will be taking Skype calls all night. Skype username is Rebel Love Show.
If you want to talk to Christopher David, ask him about Arcade City. You know, it's just made headlines too. So
yeah. So Chris, you were watching a video just as we're about to go live. What were you watching?
There is a local news. Well, there's a couple of different local news outlets in Midland, Texas, who have been reporting on the Arcade City network there because Uber about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, pulled out of Midland because Midland wanted them to provide lists of all of their drivers and stuff. Uber was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So they left, and we're like, oh, Uber left. Why don't we go there and provide services in this vacuum? Some leaders there, Arcade City drivers, just took the initiative, started putting the word out. We hadn't even had a completed app yet, but they've been just grassroots, making business cards, handing them out, giving rides on a donation basis, very similar to what we did here in Portsmouth back for New Year's Eve. They created a Facebook group for people could request rides that grew up to 500 people in that group. And they've made the local news now like 3 times. And this most recent segment was about how that Uber or that Arcade City just went live and we haven't registered with the city. And like the city officials are starting to look into this and like, oh, we actually have a lot of experience doing this kind of thing thanks to free Ubers. So very, very excited to see this being exported.
nice. I'm pretty sure it's gonna make even more headlines as it just keeps expanding. So what else is happening this week?
How's your week been? What's going on in your neck of the world besides Arcade
Uber,
City?
you know, any sauna parties going on?
The answer to what's going on besides Arcade City is nothing. I'm doing nothing other than caring for my 3-month-old son. So
how is parenthood?
But it's stressful but amazing and rewarding, and I love it. And I love having a son that looks like me, and it's amazing. And it helps that I can work at home because I can go from, cleaning up spit to, doing code or whatever needs to be done.
I'm sure your fiance, girlfriend appreciates that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. And you, Rob, anything interesting
This week? You know what? It doesn't even feel like it was. It's gone. Everything's gone by so fast. I've just been focusing on Liberty Forum.
Did we not do anything interesting?
Well, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I guess.
What am I missing? What am I forgetting?
I don't know. I guess
Cody
we didn't
was
do
here.
anything. Oh, yeah, Cody was
Cody,
here.
so yeah.
Oh, yeah, and your magical shroom
Oh my God,
festival.
I wanted to forget that. I wanted to forget that moment ever happened.
Well, okay. Well,
But we'll come back to that to our psychonaut.
But
show.
I know what's coming up, which is Liberty Forum.
Yes.
And if you haven't bought your tickets, apparently this is the last chance.
So this Liberty.
You can't buy them at the door?
I'm sure you can buy it at the door.
Yeah, it's $102 for the day.
Don't get the whole pass. Who pays like $100 for one day at Liberty Forum? That's way too much money. Just come. Even if you don't buy a ticket, which you should buy a ticket, but if you don't buy a ticket, don't go to anything. Just hang out in the lobby. Hang out with like other libertarians that are at the hotel.
I'm sure they do not appreciate you saying that.
I'm sure they don't. No, go buy it. If you want to go see any talk, if you want to see a talk, absolutely buy a ticket. It's definitely worth it because the Rebel Love Show is going to be there. Flaming Freedom.
See,
and all
I don't
that
even
jazz.
know. I have to call it this indiscrepancy because I thought that Thursday was traditionally a free day and that the comedy sketch show was free. So I had been announcing it as free. But apparently that may not be the case. So just in case, buy a ticket so you can come to see the sketch comedy show, which is happening Thursday night. It's one of the only things going on. So if you're in town, like go to it.
Well,
I've
seen you guys practice that the comedy skit. It's worth the money to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and if you don't have a ticket, I don't think there's a bouncer at the door.
So this is this is your second Liberty Forum. This is my third. Chris, how many Liberty Forums is this for you?
Let's see. My first one was Liberty Forum 09, and I think I've been to 2 since then. So it's like my fourth probably.
Damn. 09. That's old. That feels old school for today's standards. 09 free state.
I actually moved.
Where was I in 2000?
Liberty Forum was what convinced me to move. I was living in New York City at the time and just heard about this and came up, and I was like, I went to Liberty Forum. I was like, I'm gonna move, and then within a week later, I was in a group house in Deerfield, New Hampshire, with a firing range out back and gun church every Sunday, with people coming over, bringing their guns and shooting outdoors. So that was my moving story.
You've been here since 2010?
I moved here in 2009, lived here for about a year, then moved out to California for about 3 years, and then moved back fall 2014.
Oh, okay.
Well, how did you originally discover the Free State Project?
Probably some of my friends they grew out of the Ron Paul 2008 campaign mentioned it. I heard about it through something. I don't remember.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul. Yeah. I found this through somewhere down the Ron Paul rabbit hole going all the way down.
So we all have I'm doing the comedy sketch, which is on Thursday, and as the trooper I am, I'm also doing the Rebel Love show, which is
Saturday, 2:00 at the Radisson, right before Edward Snowden.
Oh yeah,
it's
and
only
I cannot wait to hear. This is my second time hearing Edward Snowden speak. Have you ever heard him speak before?
No.
This is my second time.
I haven't looked at the poll, but there's a poll questions of like what questions to ask Edward Snowden. I really, really hope that the secession question gets asked to Edward Snowden. I would love to see his response to that.
Where's the poll? How do we find this poll and vote for secession?
It's in a Liberty Forum Facebook group. I forget exactly which one or whatnot, but that's on there. So
vote for secession. So and I'm also doing Flaming Freedom, which is going to be that Friday at 3:00. Is that right?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm your producer. Yes.
Thank God.
Recording at the Radisson at 3 to 5.
3 to 5. Come see me out there. It'll be fun.
You're gonna have leather, right?
I'm gonna try to make leather happen. No promises.
No promises.
But anyway, that's like 3 things I'm doing in Liberty.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Me and Ellen Ball are gonna be working the New Hampshire, the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence table at Liberty Forum. So if you're going to Liberty Forum,
and Chris, you're giving a talk, right, about something else?
Yeah, you're on the event page.
Yeah, I'm talking about Arcade City at 10 a.m. on Saturday, I think in Salon C, and then for an hour at Alt Expo 5 to 6 on Saturday. Okay. And we'll have a table there too.
Well, that is awesome. Now, Arcade City, and we'll get into this in the next break. I was kind of curious about, like, you kind of pitch it. Well, you kind of talk about a lot how it uses like the blockchain technology and it's decentralized and all that jazz. I'm kind of actually really curious as to how like the RKC, like the app or whatnot, like how does it how does this work with a blockchain?
So for now, it doesn't. The blockchain integration, we're scheduled to begin looking at that closer in the spring. We wanted to just get out the door with something. So when credit card payments go live, payment through the app goes live in about 2 or 3 days, people will also be able to pay with Bitcoin because we're integrating with the Stripe payment processors or credit cards or Bitcoin. So, there's a little bit of blockchain goodness there. But we've actually been talking with a couple people on the Ethereum core team. We will be integrating 99% sure on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's a whole kind of separate process that we'll begin looking at in the spring once things are a little bit more stable.
Okay, we'll find a little bit more about Arcade City when we come back.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government
came
might
in
not
so
like?
fucking great.
This free ebook may save your life.
Perfectly.
Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against
Can you guys
snitches,
hear me
informers,
fine?
informants, agents provocateurs.
It's weird. I can hear you guys. I can't hear myself.
Rats is written by OG libertarian Claire Wolf. Rats is a short book, easy to read.
But no,
and
it's
available in many formats.
I just picked up this new piece of equipment, so this is like the first episode I've done doing this. I was doing it all through this USB sound card, and the sound quality coming from LRN is like tenfold better. So like the bumpers actually sound loud, where like normally we can barely hear them coming in.
Convention is your chance to meet dozens of key liberty activists from across the Shire. You can explore the beautiful little city of Keene, discuss various forms of activism with seasoned veterans, have fun at social events like the Hallowkeene Costume
I
Dance
do want to get
Party,
into Ethereum. I actually have it on my show topics, because talk to me about Ethereum as if I have no idea what Ethereum is. I know it operates like over the blockchain and stuff like that, and like just for contracts and stuff, but I really have no idea how it works. Or why I should even like I don't understand how there's like Ethereum currency, but it's more than that. Like,
well,
why should I even
Kickstarter
buy
asked
some?
a question.
What did Kickstarter ask?
He said for a long time, a lot of people were razzing on Ethereum for being shitty vaporware. Is it even close to usable yet?
Did you know you could
Is
get
what
Well,
Kickstarter
I
asked.
remember hearing about Ethereum like a
You guys
long
can
time
answer
ago.
it when it comes back.
Yeah.
I'll put it on.
Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free.
I
So sign up
highlighted
now
it
at
for you,
updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box. Facebook.lrn.fm to follow
Why's your
our
turn to bring
Facebook
it back,
page, and
I opened it
twitter.lrn.fm
Oh, okay.
to receive our tweets.
Free press.
Does Arcade City have a
How
commercial?
do you even say
on, LRN?
Ethereum? I know. Am I saying it
I think.
right?
Oh no, I think Ian's doing a commercial, like his own thing.
Yeah, Ian
Pick it
had
up.
one, and he took it down because I disabled the driver referral process, but I just reopened that today, so I think he's going to put it back up there.
FPP also gives new authors.
But yeah, he did that, himself, and it promotes to his driver referral link. So, and he's actually like number 2 on it. He's like 85 people have signed up through his link. So
Wow.
that should be some decent commission for people get going.
And weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and
But yeah, I'll make you a referral code if you want one.
Yeah.
Radio.com and the monthly.
I'll add it in
FPP
from time to
news
time.
at
Oh, I got another idea for
FPP.ca.
Arcade City. I'll put it in the show notes too. I
Find
forgot that.
FPP
Okay.
online at
Feel free to like ask me as hardest questions you can. Like, don't try to beat me up if you want to.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Do I
This
still
is your
have to
Robertson
record
Roberts
on
Brokerage
Thursday,
Daily
even
Precious
though my
Metals
show's
Update.
on
On
Friday?
Tuesday,
No, you're
gold is
doing the
$1
comedy
higher
skit.
at $1,213 per ounce.
Okay.
Silver is up 7
I would
cents
tell
at
Ian,
$15.45.
you know,
Just remind him
just
because I
remind him.
told him.
Bitcoin
Give
is
him
that
friendly
I-
reminder.
4
Okay.
US
I would just
dollars.
say, hey,
Gold and
FYI,
silver gave
doing
up
it
part of
this
last
day.
week's gains while Bitcoin
Yeah, he should
moves
play a
higher.
rerun
Bitcoin
because that
up,
was a good
silver
show
down.
last
You know what to do.
Great one.
Give us a call at
Great show.
800-874-9760 or
Yeah.
visit us online at rrbi.co.
I wanted to get a male perspective.
Listen to
About the
LRN.FM
flavor.
on any phone, anytime.
I should come back after
213-493-0309.
Is this military time?
That's 213-493-0309.
No, those are the minutes.
Oh, and welcome back to the Rebel Up Show. I'm sorry, I got lost in the chat. And speaking of the chat,
I got a
someone
question.
asked an interesting question. So Kickstart, I think we know who that is. No, maybe I don't know. He asked a question. He said, for a long time, a lot of people were razzing on Ethereum for being shitty vaporware. Is it even close to being usable yet? So I don't know what Ethereum is, and I know Rob wanted you to explain
I
it
know-
like we didn't know
Yeah, I've
because
known
I
about it
actually
for, like,
don't
over-
know.
I've known about it for almost 2 years, but again, that's a good question because I don't think it's even out. If it is out yet or what's going on, I don't pay
Is
attention. I'm
it
a bad
shitty
anarchist, man. I
vaporware?
don't follow
Like-
everything.
Tell us everything, Chris. Go for it.
Sure. So Ethereum is in frontier mode. They've released that there's like about 4 stages that they're going through, representing varying degrees of stability. They're in frontier mode, which means that it is live and that any ether mined is going to be like, that is the ether that's always going to be, before this, they had like kind of the demo ether phase. So it all, it's working. There are people building decentralized apps or dApps on the Ethereum blockchain, and it is, working. There's not much production ready type stuff on it yet. But that's why we haven't built anything on it yet, in addition to wanting to get out the door with something quick and functional. Ethereum is just not yet to the point where we would be confident running a global startup on it. We estimate that by spring, it will be time to start really taking a serious look at planning and integration path for Ethereum. But I think in terms of whether or not it's vaporware or not, I think the fact that Ethereum has now eclipsed Ripple as the second most highly traded or second most valuable cryptocurrency, second only to Bitcoin, is reflective of the fact that there is just a lot of like really serious and people involved with that project, that the number of startups using or considering or starting to use Ethereum is growing, because the Ethereum team, they just really have their stuff together. And I think it's interesting to compare and contrast the kind of the leadership problems with the core Bitcoin community and the relatively smooth, to my mind, Ethereum community so far, which is a little bit more. It's a little larger. It's a little bit more distributed internationally. They just got like a really great mix of people involved, and happy to consider that integration starting in the spring.
We're getting some feedback coming through. Is it coming from?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Yeah, that's weird. It's coming.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
Still
sorry about that. We're
alive.
still alive. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I don't know where that music was coming from. That was bizarre. But so with Ethereum, my thing, my kind of question with that is, so it's a cryptocurrency, and I get the whole idea of a cryptocurrency. But I don't know how what's like a real world situation in which I would use as some sort of contract or scenario, or how that would be incorporated into like a business plan or something. Like how would I use that besides just as a currency between between people?
So if you are a business or you have some reason to want to create your own currency, your own cryptocurrency, there are a number of people right now using Counterparty, which kind of specializes in that. But on Ethereum, you can issue your own token and have everything kind of running on the Ethereum network. So as we look at, we want to use Arcade tokens down the road and have that be the main or one available method of exchange globally on our platform. We're going to issue that and encode that in the Ethereum blockchain. One thing that Ethereum specializes in are smart contracts, or encoding a algorithmic calculation in the blockchain and have it be all publicly transparent. So as we're looking at solving the problem of if you're building a decentralized network, how do you solve the problem of reputation and allowing people to feel safe, given that things are going to be like anonymous or whatever, and having a series of smart contracts running the algorithms, running the rules of what you want the rating system to be. For example, if a customer gives a 3-star rating, we want that to be encoded and reflected in this global rating system. So once we know what those rules are, encoding them into the blockchain where it's transparent, it can be seen by everyone. There's kind of that global public ledger, not just for where money is stored, but where also reputation is stored. It's something that people can trust in the same way that people don't need to trust Bitcoin, but you do need to trust a bank. So you won't need to trust there being any central authority called Arcade City that's going to be monkeying with things. It's all going to be public, open, transparent, and editable by consensus. Whatever we may decide that if there's some rule that needs to change, 60% of admins can vote to change this, or 50% of the general population can vote to change this. It just allows for distributed consensus in a way that is not going to happen necessarily under a more centralized kind of top-down hierarchy.
Well, one thing I love about the whole idea of Ethereum is how it's really making it, it's replacing roles of government. It's a lot of people are like, well, how would we have like again a reputation system or some sort of a contract law like this allows there to be that layer of let's privatize all the things, like here's some way that the world can exist without there being a government in place, because there's still a record of it. There's
still
someone
accountable for it, like your transactions. But where does it stand legally anyway? Like that's the question. Like,
yeah, so how are they going to allow?
Because I called you an agorist the other day, and Rob said that you weren't. Because
you're not an agorist.
He said you weren't an agorist because you were seeking government permission. But I don't know how legal this all sounds. So,
seeking government permission. Well, there's certain things that are just transactional that make life easier. For example, we registered Arcade City LLC with the state of Delaware because that's going to let us get a bank account, which will let us receive wires. Because the reality is that a lot of people who want to put money into our company aren't fully on board the Bitcoin train yet, and we'll work on people and incentivize and encourage. If we have the option, if we can only pick one of two investors, and one of them is kind of your old school angel investor, and the other one wants to put money in via Bitcoin, we'll take the Bitcoin. But there are certain things that we are needing to do just to do kind of basic operations. But the beauty of this platform is that we are not making decisions about legal and regulatory compliance across the entire network from a central location. We are providing a protocol that people can use in many different ways. There may be people in probably most of the country that are going to be interested in. Is that bumper music?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. It's loud. That's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll be back in the next break with Christopher Davis. Skype us, guys. Rebel Love Show.
On Free Talk Live,
Chris, did you share that post on your page?
Every day. From wrestling superstars like
the video is in our planning group, and I don't think I can share it, but I think the guy's sending me the raw. And why don't I just add you to the planning group, because you're going to be doing stuff with us anyway.
to random people tuning in on the radio.
So if you go to Arcade City Planning and scroll down to
I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on doing the Free State Project and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amped is because I know that if it wasn't for
look at the top
I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
I'm hearing the audio from your computer.
Your life for.
Was that the feedback from earlier?
No, I don't know what that was. There was no
It
videos
was
playing on
very
either one of our
weird.
PCs. It was really weird.
Probably.
But now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon.
There it goes again.
This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com
What
right
is it
now.
saying?
Get signed up and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon. through saveatpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
I'm just gonna close. Maybe it's one of my windows,
But it would show like the little microphone icon.
right?
I think we've all had enough of that.
Oh, I think it's an ad on. Is it ad on the site? No.
To support a liberty-friendly realtor. Call Mark Warden of Team Porcupine Real Estate for investment property or
Freaked
rentals in the
out.
Free State. Or
Weird.
visit his website.
And it's like the same
Come on,
thing.
You know it.
Yeah, that was so weird.
The 3 most important things you can do.
At first, I thought like Ian threw took us off and threw it on like some sort of a commercial break
Yeah,
or
me
something.
too.
That's why I thought I stopped, because I thought like he jumped in or something.
3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented
Did you see
groups.
Ian say,
Support all
Rob,
your
please check your
favorite
Telegram?
organizations.
Yeah, I saw it.
Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.
Brian Barber wants to know if Ethereum is an addition to Bitcoin or a competitor. I feel like you answered
It's a
that.
separate blockchain. Can you hear that?
Okay, where's that coming from?
Landscapes of biking, you'll see things differently. Do I call
That's coming from yours.
Yeah, it is.
We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems.
Just
the right way,
close the web
the first
browser and open it
time
back
so
up.
you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people
close
will get cash
Facebook.
on the spot.
No, it was
Use
that
those two tools in your
LRN?
corporate
yeah, no, it was
credit
Rebel
engine,
Love Show.
so you
That's
can walk
weird.
into the bank
I don't
and
have
get your
ads on
project
there.
funded today. It's all
Maybe it's
about
from the
today.
built-in LRN
Credit
chat or
Success
something, but that was really
Secrets
bizarre.
Revealed.com. Credit Success Secrets
I'm bringing it
Revealed is
back, right? What am I bringing it
explosive
back to?
midnight Instant results.
Um,
Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719.
I'll bring it
Or
to.
just go to Credit Success
Well, we're talking about.
Secrets
I wanted to ask if there were.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please
tape
contribute to your favorite
situations,
shows via their
like,
websites and become
Do
an
you, do you see any more like lawsuit situations in the future? Any foreseeable?
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. We're here in Manchester. Is right before Liberty Forum. We got
to honor America's
Christopher David here in studio, and come on, man, you gotta get that under control.
No, I'm on rebelloveshow.com/live, and there are these ads.
I don't know what they're doing.
From
I did not put
nowhere.
those ads on there, baby. No.
It's
not do
really weird. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess you're out of the chat. Let's
I'm
go
out
to
of the
LRN.FM.
chat,
Just
so
go to LRN.
I was the only one responding to her.
Well, just go
Yes.
to LRN.FM on there. I know you respond to the chat. We do read all the chats going on, and sometimes we
Skype in.
and Skype in.
Ask
yes.
Christopher David a question. Anything you want. Make it hard. Beat him up if you want to.
So, Chris, you've been obviously there's a bunch of lawsuits and stuff like that happen with the free Uber activism. Kind of tell us what's going on with that. Give us catch us up on the story of all the jazz that's happened with you, and also with Uber Grandma too.
My felony charge was downgraded to a misdemeanor, and nothing has been done on it. I think they're kind of just trying to let it go away quietly. So that's interesting. Uber Grandma actually has a court date for March, a jury trial in March, and her Uber appointed lawyer just became a judge. She currently does not have a lawyer. Hopefully Uber swaps one in there. So
we should hand out jury nullification.
That'd be a
great
perfect jury
idea.
notification day.
The interesting thing, well, I don't want to say too much about that situation. Anyway, all I'll say is there are some interesting developments. Arcade City, our New Hampshire crew, is paying close attention to that, and that story is far from over. I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. So, what's going on with you? So you said yours was downgraded from a felony, and what was it exactly?
It was just downgraded from felony wiretapping to misdemeanor wiretapping. They realized some internal police committee realized that they should not have classified it as a felony.
Yeah.
And because they did that, well, there might be room for kind of pursuing damages for them coming to arrest me from my house when my fiance was 9 months pregnant. So there's some that also is not resolved. I'm hoping I can just kind of put it behind me because I've got just amazing things that I'd rather be focused on. But I'm just curious to see if in the end they decide to try to throw the book at me or not.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna let it go away quietly because they kind of harassed you and false.
Yeah, you didn't seem like someone would just walk away.
claims.
Like you'd make a big stink about it.
Look, if my goal through all of this is to provide the people of Portsmouth and everywhere in New Hampshire the ability to choose to use a service, choose between different ride sharing services, not having the government involved in that process at all. And if we are on track, to even getting some taxi companies are expressing interest and limo companies are expressing interest in putting all of their drivers on the Arcade City platform. So I'm not, I'm focusing on the good that's coming out of all this. And yeah.
So kind of change subject a little bit. You're doing a startup company, all right, and you do activism and whatnot. Because this is a startup, do you still have a day job on top of this?
I have until recently been a political consultant doing things for New Hampshire politicos. I have just stopped doing that, kind of put my notice in that I'm done with that. So I am full-time now on Arcade City. It's a little bit, I don't want to say nerve-wracking. I mean, I've been in a position where I haven't had, steady income before, but Arcade City is just at that point where it's like, this is about to turn into something absolutely massive. We have, people who are investors in California and Texas, and just people are just like reaching out to me. Like the level of interest is such that if I just put my full attention on it, like it will provide jobs for me and other people. So
how many states does Arcade City span right now? How many states are interested?
We have drivers active in 50 cities across probably 30 states or so, maybe a little bit less than that, 25 probably.
Oh wow, okay.
What kind of growth do you see like in 6 months? Where are you going to see this at?
And what are the next steps after that?
I think in 6 months we're going to be global. We have already a regional group actively organizing Guadalajara, Mexico. We have people in Australia. We have
I'd
people
love
in
to
Canada.
go do some consulting for you
Absolutely.
in Mexico, and
especially during this time of year.
And we have someone who just emailed in that they want to help fund and launch our chapter in Germany. So the thing is, when you're not really like when you're coming from a standpoint of where can we connect riders to drivers, and not even necessarily be like a corporate entity that's going to take a cut of that. But if you're just coming from a standpoint of like, how can we facilitate peer-to-peer transactions? And then, secondarily look at ways that can be monetized. It opens up the entire world. There's nowhere in the world where it's like, we can't look up. If someone messages me, sends me an encrypted email and they want to get stuff going in North Korea, like I will do everything that I can to give them the resources that they can create an Arcade City in North Korea. If they're willing to take on that risk, we're not some big sugar daddy with billions of dollars that's going to be there if you get into trouble. Like we are a platform. We have a bunch of code. We are a network of people that's like, look, if you feel confident dealing with the relevant legalities in your area, such that you can justify doing some entrepreneurial activity and reap the rewards from that, we are there to support you, and we want to provide you tools. But we're not limiting you in any way. Go for it.
So with Arcade City and whatnot, I always had this interesting view of, because robotic cars are coming, like Uber self-driving cars are going to be here in a couple of years. Like how does something like Arcade City, or even other competitors to Uber, like how do they compete with self-driving Uber cars?
Can I just say, first of all, like before we go into self-driving cars, and
which I know you love, you can't wait for self-driving cars.
I cannot wait for self-driving cars. I feel like people are so afraid of technology when they should be embracing this kind of thing. They don't want like technology to take over.
Our robot overlords.
I trust and believe in our robot overlords because I feel like it helps develop skills. Like it helps us evolve. Like I can't drive. I don't know how to drive. I just don't have
You know-
the knack for it. I don't like it. So the fact that, our robotic cars who just drive me around can be a part of my future, I think that's an amazing idea. Like, what about people like me?
I will say that there is a benefit to having self-driving cars, and that would be if you're going to a party, you can pregame on the way there and not worry about crashing.
And I wouldn't want to buy a car. So for instance, it can still work. That's why Uber's adopting it. Like, it's survival of the fittest out here for businesses. And even with Arcade City, like, hopefully you expand rapidly enough that by the time self-driving cars and you can have a fleet of them, as well as Uber does, that'll be competition. So I mean, I don't feel like it might put drivers out of work theoretically, but you still need someone to control that technology,
the
make sure where
first-
your cars are and all that kind of
The
stuff.
first self-driving cars, from what I've read, will hit the market in 2019, which sounds to me optimistic, given that there are a whole slew of like regulatory and compliance issues around self-driving cars that will be resolved. Who knows how? Uber and Lyft are both banking on the self-driving car model. Their goal is to replace their entire driver force with self-driving cars. They really don't care about building relationships with drivers. Look at how their money is spent, and look at how they treat their drivers. The reason that they do these large fare cuts is because they think that they can get away with them, and the turnover in people who are actually trying to build a business with this, they don't care that you're leaving because they'll get someone who's willing to work for less. It's a race to the bottom. They want to replace things with algorithms. We are going to actually come back to the actual like human to human connection. People will always want human to human connection. More on that soon.
Forget you guys. I'll take the robot.
I'm a salesman. Yeah. He's 100% right on that one.
Or we'll come back.
Understanding your credit
It
score
was the
is
LRN
first
chat.
step towards
Ian
managing
just
and
messaged
improving
us
it.
saying that
This is Charlie
it was the
Sundstrom
embedded
with your
chat.
Van Dyke Mortgage Minute.
He's going to find
The
a new
most
app to do it.
influential
Like it
component
was
of your
that
credit
was
score
causing
is
it.
your payment
So
history.
how do I make it stop?
Almost equally as important
Just go
is
back.
the
You
amount
should be
you
fine
owe
now.
on credit accounts. Also
If it pops
impacting
up
your
again, it
score,
pops up
but
again.
to a
We'll
lesser
deal with
degree
it. If that
by the
happens,
length of time you've
just close
utilized
it
your
out.
credit, the number of
Just
new
be on the
accounts,
ready.
credit
Okay.
inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit
And I'm gonna
limit
message
with a
this to
low
you,
balance.
I'm messaging
Never
this about
close
the-
old accounts. The age of these
Actually,
can
I just dropped it in the
actually
chat.
help your credit score.
The news
But
article
Don't be afraid to use
just
your
got
credit.
posted.
You need several accounts in order
With
to
the
have a
video
credit
linked.
score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any
LR
government.
Newbie
By
223.
using their money, you are
we're well
helping
aware
the
that the mics
state.
are hot
You
if
have an
during the
incredible
commercial
alternative
breaks.
available
Like,
now.
we're,
Learn it
yeah,
now.
we understand that the mics are live. We know.
We're always careful.
That's Bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune
What?
into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit
Really?
apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download,
if
rate us
only-
5
if
stars,
only,
then share the link on your
Mark
social media,
Warren
and let your
would run
friends
for
and family
governor.
know how you're listening.
Oh my
to
God, he should
LRN.FM.
run for governor.
Download it now.
I
free
vote for
at
him.
He can pull it off
Any
too.
day. He'd win.
We need,
Ian
we
Freeman,
need
host
one
of
of
Free
us on
Talk
the
Live.
inside as
We've
the
been
governor when
covering
New Hampshire
Uber
declares
for
independence.
years on the radio with their ongoing legal cases across the globe, defending your right to give
Been
people
big. They
rides
triggered
without
the move.
asking government permission. I wanted to support Uber more directly, so I signed up to be a driver. It's fun to meet new people and help Uber push forward innovation. As of this recording, Uber is
I still
active
haven't
in
been on Free Talk
67
Live.
countries, so there's a
I
good
don't think he
chance
ever
they're
will be,
available
babe.
in your area. If
I don't
you'd
think
like to
Ian
drive
likes
for
you.
Uber and make some money helping people get where they want to go, sign up at
Maybe it's because of that one
and
time.
you'll get a $100 bonus after you complete a certain number of trips.
I
With
wish you
can
did
drive
like delete that
anytime you
other
want.
side.
You set your schedule to get started.
I want it.
You need a
Oh, that
good
was
driving record,
Elrond.
four-door vehicle, insurance,
I'm not saying what
registration,
it
and to
is.
pass a
I'm
background
just saying that
check.
one time.
It costs nothing
It's
to
never
sign
been
up.
aired.
So visit drive.freetalklive.com. That's drive.freetalklive.com.
Oh, I could
and
air it
if you
on
just
here
want to
when I
try
have the
Uber
video
as a
on this
rider,
computer.
visit ride.freetalklive.com. Your first
I
ride is
have it
free.
on here. I got it
If you
somewhere.
can't listen to the Liberty
I will
Radio
never
Network's
delete
internet
it.
streams, free satellite channel,
I
or
deleted
radio
it while you were
affiliates,
sleeping.
no worries. You can listen
Why
to
would you do such a thing?
LRN.FM from any phone, anywhere. Add this number to your phone. 213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network listen lines are locked into our stream 24 hours a day. Call 213-493-0309.
You can go on a Liberty
That's
forum.
213.
He's watching the live the
0309.
YouTube feed. Why don't you
In
just talk it
Survivor
to the
Max
bike?
2,
The
school
prophet can
bites.
hear you.
Maximus scavenged through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a
No.
community of
Go
survivors
on
at his
there.
former school.
When
Has he
does
finally
it?
found the safe haven he's been looking
When
for,
does it
or will he
air?
discover
When is
its true
7 to
Free Talk-
10.
Look for
7
Survivor
nights a
Max
week.
on Facebook. Read reviews on Amazon and read Chapter 1 at
I don't think he'd have you on all
survivormax.com.
3 hours. He'd have probably on for a segment or something.
You can put
That would
Liberty
be
Radio
nice.
Network
I don't
on
know.
the
Who
air
knows?
in
Maybe have
your
you on the
area.
whole show. I have
Visit
no idea.
broadcast.lrn.fm to learn
Oh, you're
how.
bringing it back, babe.
Broadcast.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. Remember, you can Skype in. Skype name Rebel Love Show. We want to hear your beautiful voices asking us questions. So, listen, guys, I believe in the singularity, you know, and I feel like it's people like you guys complaining about your human contact and all that other BS is why technology isn't advancing fast enough. You guys should be embracing this more. Like, figure out ways to stay in the market. And, you know, competition is good. So, you know, you need to, like, embrace this kind of technology and figure out how you can harness it and make it a part of your empire instead of, like, you know, no, we're going to, like, avoid it. Because the singularity will not happen, and we need the singularity to happen.
And I don't know if you were here when I was last, let me see, in this exact studio talking about the importance of the singularity a couple of weeks ago. So I'm on board. You were in the other room. That's right. Where we were in here doing business. I'm just saying this was all addressed. All right. I'm a big fan of the singularity. I've read Kurzweil's book, Singularity is Near. All of that stuff is super great, and technology is going to do all these amazing things, and the overlapping revolutions in genetics, nanotech, and robotics. I get it. I'm sold. And we'll probably have self-driving cars maybe integrated somehow into Arcade City. But the point is that whereas Uber and Lyft are doing this money grab called, we're going to have this transportation logistics network that's going to support all these different things, and then the drivers can go screw themselves, we're coming at it from a different angle. Uber, their whole rebrand in the past 2 weeks has been about atoms and bits, atoms and bits, atoms and bits. Uber is excited about atoms and bits. We are excited about creating genuine human peer-to-peer interactions that don't have the government or any arbitrary third party between them. What we've seen so far, getting the app crap, getting the corporate BS out of the way, and just encouraging people to, like, meet people and have fun and go to bars and say, hey, here, I'm, you know, starting a business, and if you guys need a ride, I'm happy to give you a free ride. The conversations, the relationships, the interactions that occur out of that when there's two people that get into a car that they're exchanging in an economic transaction without some, like, you know, some concept of some amorphous app that is like, you know, I drove for Uber. Like, I know that a lot of these people see this as just a transaction. You're just there to provide the ride, and they pay through the app and whatever. Like I've had more amazing conversations and connections with actual people who respect that we're out there doing a new thing, building a business, and we actually care to treat them like people. That foundation, regardless of whether it's ride sharing or whether it's providing some other service, and similar to Uber and Lyft, we're not just going to be sticking with ride sharing forever. You know, we want to build that network that facilitates peer-to-peer transactions and has the reputation system in place so that whatever it is, ride sharing or whatever, we can facilitate that transaction.
Well, I see. I definitely see what you're talking about with like human interaction. I mean, I work sales, and like, I mean, a lot of people can just go online, buy stuff, and what have you. But people want that human touch. People want that human connection that you have with another person. And businesses that like you can't rely solely on that, but like businesses that have that like human touch, like are going to do. They're going to be more successful. In my opinion, I mean. It depends
I
on
could
what
say
it is.
at least you're like considering integrating it eventually and not just saying screw you. I mean, I get that aspect of it.
Well,
so I think that's good.
I do think the like a singular, when we get to the singularity, there's going to be this transition period where like we still have to work, but yet, you know, almost everything gets to a point where everything's like, you know, you have access to almost everything, but at the same time, people still have to kind of work. So there's like going to be those transition years. But I mean, eventually, once you get to the point where you have, you know, devices that can create something even smarter than itself, and you can, you know, when you get to that point where everything is, there's no scarcity. We're living in a post-scarcity world. That's a different story.
I mean, okay, so slowing down and backing up before post-scarcity, one idea that I'd like to see in a ride-sharing app, and you can say what you'd like to see in it. I'd like to see if I could like tell the ride-sharing app that I needed a snack, and the driver would go pick up whatever I asked from the store and just deliver it to me, and that's like part of the app.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, you can do that in the Arcade City app.
No, if you could, I'm just saying.
Yes, because we are just facilitating the communication between rider and driver. People can pay whatever they want. You can communicate with your driver beforehand. You can even put in the ride request. Hey, I need you to pick up me some pizza from the place. I mean, that already happens in Uber. I've had people like, you know, have me go and drive and, you know, wait outside while they pick up some Chinese, or I've heard of other people being used as like basically doing courier, like, hey, take this package over to there. And like the Uber platform is not set up for that. There's no support in the app, and that kind of stuff is usually kind of discouraged.
And a lot of times they don't answer the phone. It'll say you have to text them or something, and then it'll say the text doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, so you know, we already have people who are planning out entire ventures in the areas of food delivery, in the areas of courier service, in the area of roadside assistance. There's like a startup guy who wants to like create a decentralized peer-to-peer like snow plow reservation service. So like there's people coming up with all sorts of amazing ideas that they'll be able to use Arcade City for all of it. Now, in the beginning, there's not going to be like support through the app for like reserve your plow type thing. Some of that stuff is going to be kind of like, you know, you have a driver profile, you can put whatever you want on your driver profile. It's someone who's reserving the ride can see, and eventually we'll have search options for, hey, if you need something delivered, here's the people that do deliveries. And this person over here, he's a level 6 courier. Like, in addition to being a good driver and like a chauffeur, he's like an awesome courier, and he's done this a lot, so you can trust him type thing. What was the you said you were an Uber driver for a long time. How long were you an Uber driver? Not a long time, maybe 3 or 4 months. Did anyone ever ask you to be a courier to like take packages somewhere, whatnot, or that ever happened to you? Packages, no. Just kind of like waiting outside for like delivery, like, or for like, you know, someone doing carry out or whatever. But I have heard in LA just some other people being used basically as glorified couriers. People, the customers don't feel supported in doing that, because it's like this is your ride type thing. But we're like, yeah, like if whatever the individual driver wants to promote that they're offering as services, like go to town. Yeah, it's like I love it. Just
Get more during President's Day sale at Auto Fair Ford. Huge savings.
Okay, no more Elrond chat for the Rebel Mistress.
I don't know why it's not working for me tonight. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to just see something where as simple as I could comment, because I always said like I wish Dunks delivered, and you know that is kind of like before you get to the self-driving car or whatever. I feel like that's kind of the first step if I'm able to, you know, just type in a request what I want in a phone, and then the driver gets that, and I, you know, can pay through the app or whatever. I feel like that even in itself is just even more innovation. So I'm looking forward to everything Arcade City's gonna come up with.
So when you were a Uber driver, what's like What's the craziest like driver story that you ever had? Like, what, is there one? Did you have like one that stood out?
Rob
than
got
anything
kicked out
else?
of an Uber for being too drunk.
Yeah, in Boston.
We were at a club. He was just drunk. He was white girl wasted. And the driver
That's
was
before
like, I will
that's-
not take you guys.
Yeah,
And then
he
he
kicked me
was
out of
like,
the car.
yeah. And then
Kicked me
he's
out of
like,
the
I
car.
take you for like $100. And he said, "Now get out," because he was gonna throw up.
That was a horrible night. That was such a horrible night. Oh my god.
That was my craziest Uber
Yeah, it is
story.
like that is probably is my yeah for Uber, but yeah, was there a craziest story like something that stood out to you?
I have two, and I've driven mostly in Boston when I drove. So the Boston scene there is interesting. One was just some guy was on some kind of drugs in the backseat of my car, and like when we got to like the destination, like he wouldn't get out, like he was like straight unconscious. So I first like was like, hey man, I was like shaking his leg, and then like I got out of the car and I was like got next to him and I was like push it like pretty roughly like shaking him awake. He would go and like eventually after like 5 minutes like I waited, and then eventually like I shook him really hard and he like went into like, oh, I'm great, and then he like left. So I like and then the other story was just inadvertently being like hoodwinked into participating in a drug deal. Like I got some guy asked me to take him to this house and like wait outside for a little bit, and then like, you know, I waited for 10 minutes, and then, you know, finally he came back and he was all ranting. He asked me to like take him back to where he was, and he was all ranting about this guy who didn't pay him and stuff, and like there's some like issues and blah blah blah, and he was like, hey man, do you like cocaine? And I'm like,
yes.
I can't say like, well, no, sir, I do not partake in that thing, because like he could give me a 1 star. So I got like kind of play along. I was like,
I already had some,
you know,
this
not
morning.
usually, but you know, how's it going with you? And it's like, all right, I was just an accessory to like or maybe like a failed drug transaction. So I was like, all right, that's Boston. That's Boston for you.
That's a good way to end it.
He's an entrepreneur.
More when we come back.
Should have used Arcade City.
The Free State Project is an agreement among
What?
20,000 participants to move to New Hampshire for liberty.
This is a long break, by the way. It's like a 9-minute break.
95% to our goal, we are creating private solutions to public problems and creating a society that runs on voluntary interactions instead of coercion. We invite you
Oh,
to
someone's
participate
using
in
my
our cause
nickname.
and be part of our
So
upcoming
bizarre.
conference.
Hey, Ann.
Ian's talking.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey, if you want to tell Ann to try to reload the page, there should be a new chat app. I don't know if it'll show up right away, but
I was gonna say I'm having trouble even logging in. So yeah, go ahead, babe.
Wait, what did
Go
you
to
say?
go to LRN.fm and go back into the
try
chat.
going to lrn.fm and reloading the page and see if it loads up a new chat app. One that won't have a banner ad. Something happened with the banner ads to where they, I don't know, I guess they sold some ad with audio in it, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, because you know, I knew it was on my PC. I'm like, wow, where's that coming from? It's on yeah, because I can't lower that feed from that computer.
Oh yeah, I see a new one.
It's new? Okay, good. That should be banner free.
Nice. Thanks.
Good show so far, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and
I'm back
outdoors,
from
toys,
Spain.
games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.
Wow, he is quick on his feet.
Get all
Wow.
your shopping done. Get
Way to
a
go,
great deal,
Ian.
And a portion of your
All right.
purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network. When
Yeah,
you shop at
guys,
Amazon via
Erroneous name. What does that even mean?
shop.lrn.fm.
Maybe not. I can't log in.
More Rebel Love Show is next, live after the
There we go.
news, here on the Liberty Radio Network.
Wow,
at
Ian.
LRN.FM.
Wow. So Ian just on the LRN.fm, like the onboard chat, the embedded chat, he literally reinstalled a completely different chat. onto his site just
Like a
now,
whole new
based
format.
off of our conversation, like that quickly. Like he got on there and did that. I'm impressed. I am really impressed with that, Ian. And the embedded code that I have for the embedded Aileron chat, like on my site, also works.
Attacking a bunch of Palestinian protesters in an incident that left 28 protesters shot and one Israeli soldier wounded from being hit with a rock. Officials refused to comment on the raid itself, but said they ordered the rioters to disperse.
It's so weird though. It's
Shot the main instigators when they
I was so used to Aileron chat. It just looks different. I've seen that for so many years. It's not the same.
Babe, I want to look at myself on the break. I want to take a picture with my phone.
Well, now's the time. This is the break.
Oh, wait.
And there you go.
After about 3 hours, the troops left, mostly through a nearby settlement. Health officials say the troops were initially using rubber bullets, as would be in keeping with Israeli crowd control tactics, but very quickly switched to live ammunition. Despite 28 people being shot, none were believed to be mortally wounded. The Daily Decrypt is a Monday through Friday newscast about all the best news in cryptocurrencies and peer-to-peer networks.
There you go, babe.
What's hot in the world of digital money.
That is the best headline I've ever seen. Goodbye, Uber. Hello, Arcade City.
That's beautiful.
Does Uber have beef with you for dropping them? You know?
Oh, I'm sure they will soon if they don't already.
Americans who regard the United States military as the world's strongest declined from 59% last year to 49%. Asked if the United States is the strongest in the world militarily, 49% of respondents said yes, and an identical number said no. The positive reading is the lowest in 23 years that Gallup has asked the question. A separate question asked of 1,021 random adults during the first week of February asked if it is important that the U.S. military be the strongest in the world. 67% of respondents said it is important, a small decline from 68%.
Well, you did your job great, Ian.
The number of those who believe the country should spend more on defense increased, while the number of those who advocate less spending or that the current spending is appropriate both decreased. In the survey, 37% of respondents said the United
Am I opening it up or are you opening it up?
little on defense, 32 believed it spent too much, and 27% said the spending level was about right. A statement from Gallup said the 10-point drop in the percentage of Americans who believe the U.S. is the #1 military power in the world may reflect worries about international terrorism. It may also reflect the discussion of the military and defense in the current presidential election campaign. The survey was conducted of adults 18 and older living in all 50 U.S. states and the District of Columbia. The margin of sampling error is plus or minus 4 percentage points. For nearly 40 years, brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold.
You know, Daryl does this news update every day. Every day.
Permanently removed the minimum purchase amount.
I'll give him credit. That's a lot of work. I'm an LRN junkie, so I really appreciate that. It's like it sounds like, you know, like LRN sounds like an actual radio station. Unlike like other online streaming stations out there where they don't at all.
No, it's
There's
the
structure to it.
The U.S. government has granted an Alabama company
I'm just gonna put
permission to
music
build
on.
tractors in Cuba, according to one of the company's co-owners, making it potentially the first American
It's already
manufacturer
it's like 2 minutes before the break. I was gonna put something on. I'll find something for the next one though.
Clemens and Cuban-born Saul Barenthal plan to self-finance between $5 to $10 million for a factory at the Cuban port.
What are we talking about?
west of Havana to build
I was I mean we can go with this right there.
Okay.
Or we can do this right here too.
Issued by the administration of President Barack Obama that expand commerce with Cuba. The United States and Cuba restored diplomatic relations last year after a 54-year break, but the U.S. trade embargo remains in place. Obama has asked the U.S. Congress to lift the Cold War-era sanctions against Cuba's communist government, but the Republican majority in Congress has resisted. Instead, Obama has used
And then we can end with this.
trade in ways he says will benefit the Cuban people. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
That wine is strong.
Amid the
The Walgreens stuff, man.
release of This Christmas, the new holiday-themed album by John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Right there, baby,
Experts
now.
told reporters today the Christmas CD has quickly plunged the nation into a double-dip recession.
When investors learned that one-time
But yesterday I got to go out drinking with my coworkers.
united after 35
Mm-hmm.
years for
It's fascinating because I don't know, they're I don't know. I actually like them. They're really cool. They're cool people. And it's like this whole like weird company family I got going on. It's really bizarre but cool.
Yeah,
It was
it's
the first
super
time I
cool.
got to see a couple of them like actually drink. Like my manager's like hugging me and whatnot. It was like oh.
So are you and Kayla getting married?
We believe that when
We're like looking at what we want to do. We are starting to call ourselves
What's that
partners instead of fiance.
This is the biggest day on Wall Street in 2 decades.
But
We're coming
we're
back,
not
guys.
sure.
Onion News Network.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. It's not too late, guys. You can still Skype in.
Skype username Rebel Love Show.
Rebel Love Show. We want to hear what you got to say. So Chris, among other things, you got this whole Liberty startup going on, and I'm just so glad that you're succeeding, and I'm so glad that I might get to help you with that. I definitely want to be a part of it any way I can. Because this is, people are moving here and they're doing stuff. They're starting businesses like that are like spanning across states. And I feel like that's extra awesome. So on top of everything, I know you were talking about running for state rep. Where are you in that process? Are you still thinking about it? Or
What's the status?
I'm not sure. I am now strongly leaning against running.
How come?
Well, because what I'm doing here is so much more fun, so much more rewarding, so much more just everything, influential, fun, and committing to going to Concord 3 days a week. I hate Concord. I hate going to Concord. I hate being surrounded by government buildings. I'm going tomorrow out of necessity because they're taking testimony on a bill that's going to like affect my business here in New Hampshire. I protested the last time that there was a hearing and it didn't go vocally because I was busy actually building the app and being productive. To have to go and justify to a bunch of old people who don't understand technology why they should not get in my way. It's really frustrating. So I'm going tomorrow because apparently they're potentially on the verge of lowering the mandatory insurance minimums on the new ride-sharing bill from $1 million to $300,000, which Uber would not like because Uber intentionally set that bar. They basically wrote the bill. They intentionally set the bar at $1 million because they knew that that's something that's within their budget and not within the budget of their competitors. So I'm going to testify on that tomorrow. I've toyed with the idea of running for local office here in New Hampshire. I may just put my name on the ballot and see what happens and not put any energy into it. And I still care about what happens politically in New Hampshire, but I might not even be in the state in June or this year. I might be traveling. I don't know. I'm going to see where the Arcade City takes me. That is my number 1, 2, and 3 priority right now.
Yeah. As for me, I was supposed to go to a meeting and hear a little bit more about it. I feel like I got those same reserves that you have. I don't really like the government and I hate going to state institutions. It makes my skin itch. But I do see some positives to it and I don't mind spending time in Concord. It just depends. But like I said, I do have some other ventures I want to look into and I'm still, doing the voice acting thing. But yeah, I feel like that was one thing that annoyed me when we went to the hearing up in Portsmouth was that everyone was just so old. They didn't understand anything. I bet if I pulled out their phones right now that they wouldn't have one app.
Well, yeah,
and they just don't know anything, and they get to make decisions about what I'm doing in my life. But then that's another reason why I want to run, so I can shoot some of those decisions down. Just vote
Well,
no on everything.
I would love to see you go into the state house and just run amok. like
Run amok.
yeah, just like throw out, like start doing crazy laws, like not laws, but like just be like not like the vermin supreme of like a state house person, but like go in there and just like try and derail every bill that comes across.
Yeah, just like
And
throw out my attitude.
don't follow
just
any
like
party
master
lines.
debate. Just be like,
You won't get anything accomplished, but that's the goal. I mean,
I mean, I would mainly.
I'm very persuasive.
I would mainly use the bully pulpit to like make people feel bad for just being there. I would be just like the worst like legislator. I would just be yelling at people all the time, and I would be a one-termer for sure, and probably make a bunch of enemies.
Not necessarily.
I feel like
the move has
I
been
feel like
triggered.
if
That'd
I
be enough
did
for us
it,
to keep you in office forever.
I feel like if I did it, like, and I kept doing it, maybe I could be mayor or something. You could be first husband.
First husband of Match Vegas.
I could do this, guys. You guys just don't know.
I don't know. I want to see it happen.
Well,
You need
maybe
a great political campaign.
I think so. I'd have a great political campaign. I'm thinking I'm gonna wait like a year or two. I want to like get married and finish planning all that stuff.
Well, we're gonna marry this summer.
I know. So after that, and after the honeymoon, then
Oh, you gotta wait for after the honeymoon.
Yeah.
You're gonna hold that, aren't you?
yeah. Anywho, so speaking of politics, we were talking a little bit earlier, and you said you were a Rand Paul guy, because you vote and all that stuff, and he dropped out. So since then, how, what are you, what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm done. No, no, I had actually very low hopes when I saw how they were running the campaign. And I wrote a very long, comprehensive article 7 weeks before Iowa about Rand Paul has literally one path to victory, and if he doesn't go down this path, he's screwed. And it's mainly a result of his campaign staff was just incompetent. I could go on for a long time, but basically. So I place no hope in the political realm. I think that what we are doing and just what entrepreneurs
But who will regulate
doing,
your business?
We want to get to the point where that is completely irrelevant because everything's encoded in blockchains and we're just free people doing free things, and anyone who would obstruct that, I mean, that's the really cool thing about kind of what we're doing and what we did in Portsmouth. It's like, we just want to show people that like there are these like major obstacles between two adults making their own private contract and exchanging goods, and there is this third party that wants to insert itself into there.
Well, they gotta take a cut. That's called the government.
Right, yeah.
They need their cut. They need to control
extortion.
It.
It's a mafia. So people have even just regular Joe Schmoes in Portsmouth, and just people have been starting to see what this nature of government really is. So the question is, do we need a figure like Ron Paul to come along and like educate people? Well, I think we're past the point where it's like political leadership is like what we should be aspiring to. I think just yourself being a manifestation of that liberty principle, however that makes sense for you. We need a million people doing that, not like getting behind some like one person who's going to be the candidate.
Well, I mean, we got at least 20,000 people.
That is one thing I do love about like the liberty movement. Like besides Ron Paul, there's no like leadership. There's no one calling the shots. You know what I'm saying?
Really? I feel like there's maybe some people.
Like who?
Like, who organize like events.
Maybe in the FSP Inc. That's a different story, and that's just regards to like Liberty Forum and Porkfest.
Yeah.
But those are like two events. I'm saying in regards
Like
to like,
individual liberation.
Yeah, I'm saying like activism that people do, like trying to spread, what it means to be free, or like living free, doing opening businesses and all that jazz.
Pretty much on their own.
Yeah, there's no like one person or a group of people saying this is how it has to be done. This is where we're gonna go. Everyone's kind of like doing their own thing. So it seems like there's not really any direction or anything like that. It's that's definitely why people always say like herding cats, because like everyone's gonna they're doing their own thing. It's really hard to get a bunch of people even in this community to agree on one thing and actually go forth and do it.
I feel like when you want to start a business, especially something like Arcade City or any kind of startup, like I feel like for you, politics is the most important. Even though you want to like have everything on this
You need to know-
blockchain and
you
kind of
need to
work
know
outside.
what
But
they would do to you.
yeah, because you're the first person
Are
they're
they-
targeting.
How much do they want to steal from you?
Yeah.
How much? What is it? What are they going to do if you don't allow them to steal from you?
Yeah, you gotta know how much like
Are they
I don't know if you
kidnap you for running your business
Yeah.
without a license?
did you
know?
go in the did you go in the cell when they came? Did they
Only
put you in
to
there?
take a drink of water because that was the only water fountain that they had around. So
Okay.
I saw the inside of a cell. They did not keep me there.
Okay,
They
'cause that's scary.
almost had to keep me over the weekend because the bail officer, I was like cutting it close because I turned myself in the afternoon. So they said if we can't get the bail officer down here, then like you'll have to stay over the weekend. Thankfully, I did not. But
Christopher David saw the inside of a cell, guys.
It is hardcore time.
hopefully for the last
Hardcore.
time.
More when we come back.
So what now?
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. On Tuesday, gold is $1 higher at $1,213 per
33.
ounce.
So
Silver is up
we
7 cents at
just
$15.45
segment
per
one.
ounce.
Okay.
Bitcoin is
Segment
trading
two
at 404
starts
US
at
dollars. Gold and silver gave up
11:20
part of last week's gains while
and
Bitcoin
10
moves
seconds.
higher. Bitcoin up,
Oh.
silver down.
Okay.
You know what
I'm not
going to
put that
Give us a
because
call
like,
at 800
shows happen sometimes at different times and it repeats over and over
or
again.
visit us
So
on
this is how every hour.
in 10 seconds.
The Free State Project has
At
reached its
11:33
goal
and
of
10
20,000
seconds, segment 3
Liberty
starts.
lovers
Segment
who
2
pledged to move
starts
to New
at
Hampshire and get active
What
in
segment
Liberty
are we
in our
on?
lifetime.
We just finished the
Perhaps you're
segment
trying
1.
to figure out
So
what
now we're
part of
coming
New
up on
Hampshire
segment
should
2.
be
Well,
your
segment
destination. If so,
segment
consider
5
Keene.
just ended.
You'll
We're on
find
now
more
on
than
segment
150 reasons to move to Keene at
For
move.freekeene.com.
every hour, there's 4 parts.
Keene is
There's
famous
4
for its
segments every
historic
hour.
publicity-generating activism, as well as
Those
being
are
the
the
Liberty
times.
media
Those are
capital of the world.
timestamps of when
It's
they
home to
go.
freekeene.com.
If you're listening, Ian, I finally put a show clock. I created a show clock for. It's not irrelevant. I literally that's the timestamps in which the mics are hot on LRN.
And what makes Keene a great place to live.
Well,
If you
then,
love Liberty,
Like
then
I
you
would
better
think
figure it out.
segment 1 is when we start.
but do
Segment
your
2
due
is
diligence
next, and
first.
segment
Please
3
visit
is-
move.freekeene.com.
Yes, those are when each segment starts.
Wait, you said we're on segment 1.
We just finished segment 1.
Did you know you can listen to LRN?
Segment 1 of the hour.
Free-to-air satellite channels?
Okay.
There's
We have
4
channels
segments an
over nearly
hour.
all
This
of
is the
North
first segment
America
of
and much of Africa.
the second
All
hour.
you need is an affordable
We
receiver
we just
and
passed that.
dish
We're
as small as
coming up
30
on the
inches.
second
There are
segment
no
of
monthly fees.
hour 2.
Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if
Yeah, I'm
you
not
are a
gonna put 8
broadcaster
things
or
across.
want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details
It's the
at
same timestamp each hour.
sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
McDonald's is now offering bereavement prices, and a sexual predator gets tenure. This is the Onion Week in Review. This Wednesday, Samsung announced the release of its brand new really big television. Representatives for the South Korean electronics manufacturer told reporters at a press conference that the goddamned gargantuan of an electronics product boasted a variety of new features, including being super heavy and having a screen
That's
that
weird.
was
We usually get
probably
Skype calls over here.
150 inches wide for all
Still
they
not connected.
We here at Samsung think this new product
Yeah, most of these episodes we get Skype calls.
What's that beeping noise?
In other
The
news,
onion
an
break.
important decision is sent up to
Blocking
the
out
company's
cursing.
highest idiot. And an area mother doesn't see why Thai people need to make food so spicy. Today's Onion Review was sponsored by Bamboo Garden, voted the best family-owned Chinese restaurant in Idaho for 5 years running.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's post pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment.
Oh, Christopher David, someone asked, what do investors think about your criminal history? Is it a problem?
Click get notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy.
Well, I don't have a
You can spare
criminal
that
history
trip to
because
the
I haven't been
gallery
convicted of
to click
anything.
on
So.
something.
Oh, in your
Facebook.com.
face, kickstart.
Solbrecht was convicted in early 2015 of running
But
the
no,
infamous Silk
I'm
Road
very
underground
public and
market.
open about
The
my
Silk Road
tangles
was a
with
gift to humanity
the
and helped
authorities,
reduce the
and
harms
I'm still
brought on
standing.
by
So
drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison. With
Do your other
no
investors that are not
possibility
free
of
staters
parole. Now, an appeal is
question
Ross's
some of your
only
background?
chance, and he needs your
Oh,
support.
wait.
Please visit freeross.org where you can contribute.
Who are your
to various methods,
investors?
including
Who is them?
Visit
You can answer when we come back on here.
I probably won't answer.
Aw,
but you can
man.
ask me if you want me to tell you no on air.
Like, are they? But I mean, like, are they companies or individuals?
That's facebook.lrn.
In terms of investors in the specific.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. And we were talking about a little bit more about Arcade City. And babe, you had a question for Chris here about Arcade City during the break.
Did I know?
Or you don't want to bring that up?
I was asking about.
Oh, that was in the chat, actually.
Oh yeah, the chat said something asking if investors care about your criminal history. I know earlier you mentioned angel investors. You know, is that a problem? Do they ask about your free staterness?
Well,
like, are these normal people or free staters? Like, what's going on?
So first of all, like, no money has hit our bank account yet, so we don't technically have the people that we're talking to. I mean, I don't know if they just haven't Googled me or if they have Googled me and they're comfortable with. I don't know. But I mean, what a lot of these kinds of people are looking for is industry experience, and given that a large part of any ride sharing company is going to be addressing regulatory and compliance issues, to have someone at the helm who has for the past year been more familiar with the issue of ride sharing compliance and has actually like the scars of like coming afoul of the local ordinances, negotiating with the city, getting the city to largely back off of Uber drivers. Like they have not done anything against any Uber driver since Uber Grandma. I think it's because we like successfully put them on the defensive. So like, you know, oh no, you know, someone might say, oh no, Christopher David was arrested, we can't invest in him. If anyone would think that, I don't want them to invest because they don't have the stomach or the balls to do what's needed to actually like grow this into something that can compete with Uber on a fraction of the budget. So I'm very public and open about like the tangles that I've been in. I hope people Google me. I hope people ask me about it. And if it's an issue for anybody, like, see you later.
Have you always had those kind of those beliefs on being so open about like who you are, like with business and everything else?
Because Rob has this problem. He said cops come into his store now and don't want to talk to him.
Yeah. No, like because I've done so much cop blocking and stuff like that in Manchester with the DUI checkpoints, and the fact I get pulled over all the time. I recognize cops, they recognize me, and but that's hurt some of my clientele. That's hurt me a little bit, probably, who knows. But I never used to be. I tried for a long time not to be open with my coworkers about like who I really am or what I do. Now I am. I'm 100% like out as a free stater and stuff like that. But like before I moved, I was not overly public about being a volunteers or anarchist, libertarian, Ron Paul guy. Like. Do you feel like how long have you been like fully out of the closet of like of who you are philosophically?
I'd say mainly within the past year. Before that, I had political aspirations, and 3 years ago I was more in the mindset of like, let me kind of package who I am so that I can achieve mainstream acceptance. And like I've since come to realize that model is BS. It's the wrong way of seeing the world, and it puts me in a position where I'm not in integrity with myself. And honestly, it helps a lot being surrounded by people of integrity who are living their own like principles out and about. And I feel like here in New Hampshire in particular, we're actually like really shifting the dialogue. Like we're making it like back a year or two ago, it was like, oh, are you an anarchist or a minarchist? Let's have this debate. Now it's like, why you're
why are we even having this
now? But
debate?
Now the debate is about tactics. Like, okay, of course we're all anarchists, but should we engage in politics in the short term? It's like, it's a different debate now. And
yeah, that's true.
No reason to hide.
I mean, I do feel like, I don't know. I have a problem. I guess I'm just so far down the rabbit hole. Like I can't relate to everyday people and like their lives are just like, I found like when I used to work, I found everyone around me was just always miserable and like very depressive, and like they weren't really living for anything. And I don't know, I don't feel like everyone's like this, but I feel like their like daily life was just wake up, go to work, jack into this matrix, like, and go home. And I don't know, I just didn't want to be around that, and I felt like I couldn't be myself because I'm just like this free spirit kind of eccentric person, and people like to be around me, and I like talking to people, and I'm very like business oriented, so I fit in the situation well, but I never felt comfortable because I didn't feel like I could be myself. And you know, if they talk about politics or something, I didn't feel like I could just be like, I mean, I'd say liberty oriented things, but I never directly come out and say I'm a free stater. So
well, yeah, that's like when I'm having debates with people that I'm not, you know, trying to hide. Now I just go full on like anarchist. Like I don't even bat an eye anymore. But before I did that, like, yeah, I used to, you know, I'll kind of like I'll throw in an idea in a debate or something like that, or conversation. Like I throw a nugget of like you know, truth, but I wouldn't like, you know, go full on in it. Now I being here and seeing other people, you know, living who they want to be, and not just talking, but like walking the walk and living their life. Like,
but that's why I would like to work.
That you can do it too.
That's why I like feel better working for myself though. So now I don't have to worry about it, or working for like liberty oriented people. You know, I really want to work in the marijuana, like compassionate care organizations. I want to stick my head and dabble in everything.
Well, we just gotta
and still be kind of my own boss.
It just needs to be legalized, and we'll get like we'll just have a whole grow operation going.
Well, Rick Naya of New Hampshire Hempfest and Freedom Rally, which you guys need to keep keeping track of, because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be in August this year. Go like that on Facebook. But yeah, he just got his medical marijuana license. I didn't read it.
He just got his medical.
He got his paperwork.
Yeah, his medical marijuana identification card. But like, just listing out everything that he had to do to get that.
What did he have to do?
Well, he's the one that got that passed.
Oh, okay.
Like he want. Like,
I mean, what do you have to do to get a card? I wonder.
I forget what he had to do to actually get it. But I mean, that took them like 2
years.
Because
I want a card.
Like get that out, and then before that, like he did so much inside lobbying for medical marijuana. Like he's done a lot. He's been the head director of NH Normal.
Yeah.
Now of Hempfest. Like he's done a lot.
There's still too much regulation though. Like even like all the paperwork that, you know, they send him to be able to have this marijuana, and there are no dispensaries as of yet. So it's like a matter of driving somewhere.
Well, just like how we're
transporting it.
Just how we were talking about earlier about how, you know, we're having this conversation of, you know, yes, we're all anarchists now. Like, what are we going to what are we going to do about like the world we live in, instead of like, are you anarchists or anarchists? Like the whole marijuana debate of like, you know, yeah, we're just getting medical marijuana compared to like full on decrim legalization. Like I feel like that's a conversation about like medical marijuana that like happened a decade ago. Like, how is that like even still a thing that like people think that?
I feel like that about gay marriage though. People are like, oh my god, it's finally legal. I'm like, why? Like, this is ridiculous. Like that, you know, you have to ask the state who you can love and spend the rest of your life with. So like the fact that, you know, people are just like so happy to get like these general little liberties, like, no. Like, yeah, like it's good that we got medical marijuana. It's an advancement, but it should be legal, and people should be able to like experiment more and see like what else marijuana can do. It's the same thing I said earlier about like the fucking flying cars. Like, accept marijuana so we can move on and innovate. Fucking status.
Legalize it now. Legalize it now. I want to smoke for free.
For free.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that
I'm the administrator of the chat now.
no more right.
What about me?
Yeah, baby, you don't deserve it. I got this. You don't. I got this. Okay.
What are you gonna do with this new? What are you gonna do with this newfound power? to be the admin of the chat. I'm gonna do the ban hammer. Can you change people's names?
I don't think so. I'm not gonna do anything with my newfound power because I don't care. Unless there's like a troll posting 60,000 like links to Donald Trump or something.
The other day, the chat was out of control.
Yeah.
Like, someone just spamming.
No, I was doing a show about rape, and someone was talking about child like pornography, and if she's like younger than 10, it's okay, or like saying crazy shit.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Like, please remove yourself. So now I can remove you, guy, whoever the fuck you are.
The Wage and Hour Division, the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration.
Am I bringing it back?
I'll bring it back.
Okay, good.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission? Well, not yet. Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration.
I want to come back to.
It's very hard to get anything done these days. But free enterprise built this company. Think what could happen if we don't.
Where is it?
A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people.
What?
Next, sign up for the Shire
I have a
Society Forum at
charger over here if I want to plug it in.
forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of
Oh,
people there.
yeah, I don't have an outlet over there.
To meet you. If you're already in the Shire
As far as it goes, I'm sorry.
forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month. So drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Get some water.
Yes, you got a minute and a half.
You may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in
Yeah, we went to the.
find resources at promote.lrn.fm.
What happened to the trip
Details on how to
comment?
get a free bumper sticker,
Did you delete that?
you can print out and distribute, banners for your website,
That's what I was
as well
gonna
as
bring
files
back
that will
to.
allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and
I just didn't see it in the notes. I don't remember
the
reading
Liberty
it.
Radio Network. That's promote.
Doesn't matter. I remember what it is.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up this segment.
It called to me like,
Hey, Ash.
do this right now.
I wanted to
Kitty
be around
cat.
people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure.
Hey, Chris, how many pork fests have you been to?
The feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit
the third one is going to be the best.
Read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the
It's
reasons
gonna
why
be
if you
our
love
wedding.
liberty, you should
It's gonna be epic. Very hippy dippy. Very hippy dippy.
Well, we need to
That's
make.
shiresociety.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to,
Need
it's
to
not
what?
free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right
Yeah,
side
like
of
10
the page at lrn.fm.
And welcome back. We are live on LRN with the Rebel Love Show. Myself and the Rebel Mistress here, and Christopher David over in chair number 3. And I kind of want to talk about my unsuccessful and apparently your successful psychonaut journey that we had.
My journey was very successful, and as always, Rob had a. So, if you recall my blog, I write a blog. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Anarchy. You can find it on the rebelloveshow.com. And my first blog was about Rob here going on a mushroom trip. However, it didn't work. The mushroom trip didn't work.
It's not my drug.
But the blog is more about describing like observations and encounters and like why like this drug trip, even though it didn't work, is a good thing. It's a good blog. I read about real life situations, but so it didn't work. And I feel like you said you had a good trip at Hemfest.
Yes, Hemfest. I had a fantastic trip. well, I won't say it's fantastic. Like I had the visuals, and I remember like really kind of thinking about myself as a human being, but it wasn't like intense.
Yeah.
It wasn't like overwhelming. It just felt like natural. It wasn't like I wanted like a higher experience.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
felt
eat
that
more.
that mental parts at Pork Fest, and the visuals weren't there that much, sort of, but not like they were at Hemfest. I know that's even like touch. That's
Yeah.
just touching. Like to me, like I'm just saying, like I didn't have that great one, and other times I felt nothing. This time. And this is only like number 4 or something like that. It's not like I'm a mushroom expert, but it's like I'm bad in like 200 here, and this time 3 hours in, and I'm taking a good proper dosage. It took like an eighth, like 3 hours in, then I had to throw up. Then I was nauseous the whole time. Like I got this, I can hold this in. It's not like it happened like 15 minutes in. Like it was a long time in. And I don't know I don't know if it's my drug.
Well,
it's sad. I want to have that that epic mushroom experience that people talk about, how it changes their life, how they can look inside them and then fix everything that they see wrong with themselves and be a such a brighter human being and all that jazz. Like I want that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it. So Pork Fest, my first time doing shrooms. I also did some. Yeah, I also met my friend Molly, and we all had a party. And I like cried, and I saw a dark cloud, like that I guess wasn't there, but it was there to me. And I visualized this dark cloud like sweeping us all up and killing us, and we had to like run away from this dark cloud. But we ran away from it, and we made it, and we skipped off into the darkness. And Carlos played guitar. He played acoustic while we skipped. It was a great time. And then I didn't do any at Hemfest. And this time when Rob got sick, actually, I fell asleep and like I felt like my dreams were a little vivid, but I woke up, I wasn't really feeling anything. I kind of felt like a little tingly, but it was nothing. Took the dog outside. I had practice for the sketch comedy show happening on Thursday. And when I got there, I was fine still. We were chit-chatting. We smoked a little bit. We got downstairs. And all of a sudden, like, I was trying to read my script, and the words started changing colors. And it was like the words were, like, floating, and they were hovering pink. And then
you kept your cool well, too.
I'm like, the floor started sinking.
There was a moment when, like, you kept forgetting, like, I don't think you forgetting the line. I think you were just forgetting that you were there for that moment.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, like I saw it in your eyes, like, oh my god, I'm in this I'm in this sketch right now.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I definitely. if like you don't think I'm a good actress, and
you pulled it off. Well, I do.
Pull it
I
off
do watching what
while
was
I'm
going
having
on.
an
I do really
extreme
well.
shroom trip. But yeah, no, that one was great. Like, so I aim for that feeling. I'm sorry you didn't feel it, but it took me like 9 hours actually, like to actually feel something
for that.
I think psychedelics are good. That's why, like, when we're talking about legalization of marijuana, like, I do kind of believe in the legalization of all drugs because I feel like it's your choice what you consume and put into your body. Some things are more dangerous for you than others, like, but it's your choice to research. And I feel like with a better market, once we legalize drugs, like that things could actually get safer because like the less regulation, it lets these markets like flourish.
Like a lot of drug use and like for like pain relief, like heroin, that's in place because it's hard to get like actual over-the-counter drugs that do that.
And that's how people get addicted to heroin.
Yeah,
but it's funny because they'll like prescribe like oxy to like an 11-year-old now, like that. But you can't like smoke weed.
I support someone buying whatever they want for their body.
Yeah.
Like if they want to buy a bunch of something, I'm fine with that. They
but
can
look
buy
at
whatever the hell they want.
The things that are legal are already gateways to
it.
something worse. Like for instance, like you said, like oxy is like a gateway to heroin. That's something that's legal. Weed is like a gateway to your refrigerator, and that's not like gonna hurt anybody.
No.
So, I mean, it's just all a matter of perspective, I think. But I think with psychedelics, like you said, it's for people to reach inside themselves. Like, I know I described this dark cloud and it almost sounds like comical, but like it was actually there, and I survived it. And you and you might see some scary things, but I feel like it does help you like figure out who you are as a person.
That is a fear of mine that that I would have that bad trip Like I would get to that
Sometimes
point.
you need the bad trip, though.
I know that's what people say. People tell me like, you know, if you have a bad trip,
It makes
it's for
you
a reason.
anew.
It makes you like, you know, rethink a lot of things about yourself. I would take that too, though. I'm scared of that happening, but I would take that. I just kind of want to get there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a journey. And I feel like, you know, our shaman, Cody O'Connor of Anarchy After Dark and Off There Live, like he was telling me, I was telling him about the dark cloud, and I was telling a few other people, and he was like, you know, people don't just do shrooms to sit around and like get high. You can just smoke weed for that. Like it's really like a self like evaluation, and you should do it in the right atmosphere. Like I didn't intend on going to practice shrooming. Like I thought it would happen a lot earlier. But it was still fun, you know. But I like to do it in a situation where I can, like ayahuasca, like I can just like meditate and figure out who I am as a person. I feel like I kind of did that the other day, but you know, I like the visions too. I don't know if you can get addicted to shrooms or anything, for me, like, but I gotta space it out.
The visuals would be nice, but like I don't even want it for the visuals. I just want it for like the, you know, to look at yourself and try to fix who you are and like everything else like that. Like, you know, to look inward. And I really want to get to that
all
point.
part of the circle of life, man. You know.
What about you, Chris? Are you a psychonaut at all? Do you venture down that rabbit hole ever?
No, it's on my to-do list at some point, but I'm an alcohol and caffeine guy for now.
Those are some dangerous drugs, man.
I'm a caffeine fiend. Like I'm sorry. Like I think I just drank my 4th cup of coffee today, maybe 3rd. I don't know. I'm always drinking coffee. I'm always caffeinated. Like I tell you.
And what if they start putting a limit on coffee? Decaf for everybody.
No.
Like that's enough to start another world war.
If they started outlawing coffee, I would become like the coffee kingpin of the Shire.
Really?
You know, I would be the Heisenberg of coffee. All right. No one would I would own the whole area. Coffee
Who is
would
Heisenberg?
Okay, babe. All right. For those that I gotta say what I'm doing with you now. Those that followed previously, in a couple episodes ago, I had Ann here go through the machete order of Star Wars. Now, she's never seen Breaking Bad, but I'm doing the machete order of Breaking Bad. She's watching Better Call Saul, and she loves it. And she has not seen a single episode of Breaking Bad. And I told her she cannot see an episode of Breaking Bad until Heisenberg makes an appearance, and she doesn't know who Heisenberg is. So don't ruin that for her, and I'll be pissed
The chat
off
is
if you
definitely going to ruin it for her.
Don't look at the chat, babe. Don't be in the chat.
But
people will say who those characters are. Just imagine that Breaking Bad doesn't exist.
Okay, chat. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Chris, have you gone to the local Moose Cafe here in Manchester?
No.
Oh, you're a coffee fiend. You love it.
Really?
It's over on Queen City.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's right. If you're going down Elm and you turn right, it's like right after that. And it's in a weird place. It's not near anything.
You should invite Kayla, and we should do like a lunch and bring the baby.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I love babies. I can't wait to have some.
Yeah, in like 4 years and 8 months.
Maybe
sometime,
after he sees your cute baby, he'll think sooner.
Yeah, sometime before the end of this month, let's do that.
Yay, I get to play with a baby.
If you want to babysit anytime, you're welcome to come over.
You don't know, Chris. Like, I'll have that baby strapped to my chest and making Arcade City calls to restaurants and everything else. Like, no, I love kids. Seriously. I'll babysit.
Yeah, this is great. But yeah, Moose Cafe, fantastic place. It's like the super hipster like coffee house meets a Vietnamese sandwich shop. Okay.
Wow.
And they have like this amazing iced Vietnamese espresso. Incredible. It's like they put like condensed milk in it. It's intense.
I'm so.
There's all the bread they make there on premises. Okay. And they have banh mi. They have a banh mi.
What's that?
It's a Vietnamese style like sandwich. It's too hard to explain what it is. Just order it when you get there, or I don't know. It's my favorite new. It's my jam in Manage for like the last 6 months. It's my gem that I love. I end up going there like once every couple of days.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced,
Wow.
if you paid more than $75 for
Yeah, I
your
wanna see
round
what
trip
it is.
ticket,
Maybe we
you
can test that.
overpaid.
Talk about on air immediately.
Because everybody on the flight paid more.
like real
And I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing. And
You're bringing it back, babe. So last segment.
Okay, I got it.
invited us to apply for the
I know. I'm
We
bringing it
haven't
back.
asked Chris's his hopes and fears and feelings and happiness that the move has been triggered.
And expectations of Liberty Farm, and that's how. My phone is like 5 million degrees. Remember how you talk about your phone overheating?
Yeah, you should like.
And the battery is like always dying.
Why don't we just get you a new battery?
CEO of another major
Problem solved, babe. You can just go on Purse.io and just order one.
I don't know what Purse.io is.
It's just you can order it off of Amazon. Purse.io allows you to buy stuff on Amazon with Bitcoin at a discount.
Can you like
That's
set
how I
up
bought
our
that lexicon
Amazon
right there.
Can you set up our Amazon, my Amazon to do
No, you don't. You don't set. You literally just take the link on Amazon, shoot it into Purse.io, send some Bitcoin. That's all you gotta do. This battery, you can get a new battery for like $5 on Amazon. If you want it so bad,
that?
figure it out.
Do it for me.
You're so lazy. Jesus.
Just do it for me, okay?
Ash, you're like falling off my lap. Come on now.
Daily Decrypt, a new video channel and podcast that will keep you on top of the latest innovations in crypto finance, security, networking, transportation, and gadgetry like drones and 3D printers. Subscribe to the Daily Decrypt on YouTube and SoundCloud.
I really hope that they're able to make Daily Decrypt like a huge thing for them. So to the point where like they're ballers, like making like ad revenue left and right, and they're making like a whole like network of like other crypto shows.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. I'm your Rebel Mistress here with Rob Matthias and Christopher David of Arcade City. We're going to figure out how to donate there and everything by the end of the show, so don't let me forget. But first, I got an announcement to make, okay? My fellow partiers, if you are coming to Hallowkeene, which all of you should, come to Keenvention 2016, you will be party hosted by your Rebel Mistress here. I will be hosting Hallowkeene. Well, actually, Flaming Freedom will be hosting Hallowkeene, and it's going to be bigger. It's going to be better than ever. I mean, we're going to have snacks and the whole nine. It's going to be awesome. I'm a great party host. Just go look at my Instagram.
You killed it emceeing that party
Yeah,
last
I'm
year.
the mistress of ceremony. Like, that's what I do here.
No, you
So-
did I don't know if you stole, but you didn't give Chris their best costume. And
Yeah,
his
I'm still
costume
angry at
was
you for
great.
Shitoshi, get up. Well, just up your game next year, because
Up
I'll be
my
emceeing, and we'll have a better prize than a shot. So I know how to plan a good party, guys. It'll be on. So make sure you come to Keenvention.
That's the reason to go to
2016.
Keenvention is the Hallowkeene
It's the
Dance Party.
Hallowkeene
Yeah,
Dance
like
Party,
that's
guys.
the night.
It's gonna be the reason.
And I love the fact it's not on Halloween too, so it's like the week after. So like you probably will get a higher crowd of people, because I remember during Hallowkeene Party last year, because it literally was on Halloween. Like there's so many parties
Other
going on
parties,
across
yeah.
the state. Like everywhere there was Halloween parties going on. If you have it a week after,
Yeah, it's gonna be November 4th.
yeah.
Or 5th.
So it gives the ability for like people, they'll be more spread out, hopefully a hell of a lot more people will show up too for that.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm really hoping everyone comes out to convention. But more importantly and closer, the FSP has triggered the move, and we want to know what Christopher David thinks about that.
I think it's absolutely perfect timing that there's going to be an influx of principled libertarians coming into New Hampshire at the exact same time that we're going to be hiring people to Arcade City to run, to work either in the New Hampshire regional office, which will probably be based in Manchester, or the global headquarters, which will probably be based in Portsmouth. So we're going to be, I mean, by the time people start moving in, I mean, we're very soon going to have, you know, so some funding to actually get people hired onto the core team, as well as people will be able to use the Arcade City platform to do some kind of short-term income here and there. So I'm very excited for the possibilities there.
See, it's a good time to move to the Free State Project. We have so many job opportunities, and everything's flowing both ways. So I feel like now more than ever, move here. And I feel like convention will be good because people, for some reason, still want to move to Keene, and they'll come to convention.
It's a good way to go to meet people that go to Keene. Like, hey, come on, come this way over to Manch.
Yeah. Well, if anything, we'll just go to convention to get people to move to Manch.
Hopefully, now here's my hope. Hopefully, within a couple years, a bunch of Free Staters are just gonna they're gonna land in some city that has no Free Stater presence.
Plymouth
all right.
Rock.
Like, so let's say, you know, I don't know, like Plastow or Hampton Beach, or like literally one small section that just blows up with, like, you know, an influx of like 500 Free Staters to one city, and then, like, you know, in 2 years from now, there's going to be a Plastow convention or something like that, you know, or there'd be like a you know, I don't know, like some place like a Laconia convention, you know, like some city that like doesn't really have that huge of a Free Stater presence just blows up. That's my hope. That's what I want to see.
I feel
happen.
like that's, you know, that's
I want a
definitely
whole new scene too.
That's definitely in the realm of possibility, and I think that's why I have such high expectations for Liberty Forum. I feel like I'll make some new friends. I love meeting people. I love making friends.
Oh, I can't wait for this Liberty Forum. With the move triggered, there's definitely an energy in the air that, like, this is, you know, the ball's rolling now. We're getting a lot
People
more
want to come
movers.
check it out.
People are going to check out and see what this is really all about. That we got to that point. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fantastic weekend. I can't wait to get there. It's only in a couple days. It feels like
it's on Thursday. It's Tuesday. And we have so much stuff to do. So I mean, I'm definitely excited, and my expectations are high. And last year was a lot of fun. I was definitely doing a lot. No, I think I was doing just as much. I tabled last year, so I got to meet people like that were signing in. This year I'm not doing that, but I'm doing a lot of other
working
media.
so much. Like you're doing.
I'm just doing media
every day. You're doing something. You're doing something that Thursday night. You're doing something Friday. You're doing something Saturday. Like you're working.
What's going on Saturday?
The Rebel Love Show is at 2:00.
Oh, okay.
Babe, come on. You
not Saturday night. I thought you meant like Saturday night. Yeah. And then I gotta go to all my friends. I have to go to all my friends' talks. You know, I gotta at least show up at Chris's talk for like 5 minutes.
Make a cameo appearance.
Yeah, of course.
You gotta go see Mateus. He's gonna be. I know he has a couple talks.
Yeah, Mateus has.
Yeah, he's also gonna be on. He's gonna be on for a segment at Liberty Forum.
And you're not doing any talks or panels?
No, I am not doing any talks or panels. I will be at the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence table at Liberty Forum, but I'm not doing any talks. And
there should be a talk about New Hampshire independence.
I would have loved to seen someone do a talk on it. Hopefully next year we can get that to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence is the thing to focus on. I'll definitely be grouping your table.
Oh,
so
well,
I'll
awesome.
Be there.
You'll
do you have any
sex appeal for it to get more people to be secessionists?
Do you have any other expectations for Liberty Forum, or
My expectation is that I just want to meet a bunch of a new wave of people. Like I one thing I love about being in the Shire and the Free State Project and all that jazz is there's always these new waves of people that come in and they just change the entire the landscape. They change everything up. I want to see like super activists come in that we've never heard of. Someone that's just come in and like
save the world,
change the game, start up doing some sort of activism that no one's done yet, and like blow it out of the water. I want to meet that person at Liberty Forum, and odds are I will meet that person.
You think so? You think you're gonna meet some wide-eyed Liberty fellow?
I do.
Liberty
Okay.
cowboy.
I'll be honest. I do find it, and I was like this too when I moved. I find it cute when like the Liberty people move in and they're all
they want to save the world.
They want to save the world and change everything and like come in here and why aren't we like just do everything and like so excited about everyone being here. I'm like, man, here's some pot. You want to chill out for a little
smoke
bit.
it.
Relax.
But I feel like that's why people get burnt out.
Welcome home.
I feel like that's why people get burnt out or depressed. Because they want to see change instantly.
Oh,
but it's
so
over
easy
time.
To get burnt out. I don't know how the hell Chris is even like alive
he's
right
trying
now.
to start a livelihood here, man. You see his beard. You see that beard?
By the way,
it's all the like.
I appreciate the beard game you keep bringing. Like, I love the competition. The
is that how you? Yeah, is that how you're dealing with like all the not burning out? You're just growing a beard.
Last time Rob was throwing some shade at me. He's like, "Oh, that's a year's growth." I grew that in 6 months. So anyway, but I have just hit the yeared mark. I started growing it after Liberty Forum, so I'm going to celebrate by going to this beard trimming barber shop.
Barber's Tool Shed down in Merrimack.
Yep, they accept Bitcoin.
And free fucking beer, which is
free beer.
You can't beat free beer and paying with Bitcoin.
Definitely not. I can't come. I'm not invited.
No, you never bring a woman to a barber shop. That's never.
Anyway,
ever.
I am impressed with the beardage going on in the Shire. I'm proud of you guys. Keep it up.
Yeah, there are impressive beards in the Shire. I kind of want to, if there's ever a moment, like especially at Liberty Forum, I want to get like a group shot. Of,
I
like,
hope there's a lot of ladies at Liberty
all the bearded
Forum.
men at the same time, like the beards of the Shire photo.
Okay, Chris, we're about to close it out. Can you tell everyone where they can find your shit?
Yes, arcade.city is the website. Arcade City on Facebook is where we post most of our jokes about Uber and just kind of crap talk and stuff. So follow us on Facebook. That's where most of the action and updates are.
Okay.
What about yourself, Baby Doll? I know you're on the Rebel Love Show, but where are you? Where are you on this?
So I'm on the
internet?
Rebel Love Show. If you want to find me for work in the voice acting world, you can find me on ACX, but I'm mostly on Facebook. You can go like the Rebel Mistress on Facebook, and my contact information is there. I do want to start a webpage soon. My books are on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon. So if you search the Rebel Mistress as a narrator, you can find my books. My second book should be coming out soon.
I cannot wait for that book.
Really?
I've heard the sound bites they're playing me. I want to buy it and listen to it.
Really?
Yes, I want to listen to the whole thing.
Well, I hope other people feel that way and buy 1 million copies so I can be rich.
Yeah, like it's you get the voices down and you're an incredible voice actor, babe.
Thank you.
I know it's been a struggle for you a little bit to get it up and run, but you're running on full steam, and I'm excited about your voice acting career.
Yeah, we're all going to be famous in this room. Give us 5 years.
And you can find the Rebel Love Show at rebelloveshow.com. Make sure you go subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Peace guys.
Disconnected.